How are you? Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, what's new?
Not much. How are you?
Thank God.
Al Hashem.
Okay.
So we did into Shulchan Aruch, Yud Gimel. So we did that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yud Gimel, yeah?
Uh, yeah, we finished Yud Gimel, right? We finished it.
Yes, we did
Okay.
Bet Yosef also, Yud Gimel.
Okay, so we're going to Yud Daled.
We also did Vav Bet, no? Is
Right.
that correct? Yeah, because it's out of order, I think, no? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Very good. So I guess we'll go to Yud Daled.
Okay.
Let's see what it is. Getting closer. Okay. I think it's in the beginning somewhere. Seems like we finished the whole Siman. We're finished. I think we're finished with it. I don't see anything else here.
Okay.
Is there Yud Daled?
I don't know, but
Okay, I'll check that.
I know it's out of order because you didn't
Right.
mention.
Hello, Rabbi.
How are you, Yitzhak?
Baruch Hashem. How are you?
How you feeling?
Baruch Hashem.
Okay, so I think we're done with the Siman. Is there Yud Daled here? I was just checking. I think we finished it. Yeah, we finished it. So we're going to the next one. which is Kaf Vav, which is short. Okay, so let's see Bet Yosef here. This one we'll take down. Right, so Tur says like this. Ve'im en lo ela achat ben shel rosh ben shel yad. Let's say he has only one tefillin, right? The head or the arm. Menicha umbarech alea. You do place it, you do wear it, and you make on each one, it doesn't matter which one it is, you make a blessing. Why? Shekol echad mitzvah b'fnei atzma, because each one is a mitzvah by itself. B'fnei atzma hi. Umbarech al shel yad k'shei levada. So you bless on the hand, the arm, by itself. Achar ve'al shel rosh k'shei levada shtayim. Right? Achar, I'm sorry. So he says that on the arm you would bless one, and on the head you would bless two, right? According to Ashkenazi custom. Even if he has both of them, yesh lo shum ones, yesh lo shum ones, he has some kind of something prevents him. Sheno yachol k'shehi lebada echad ve'al shel rosh k'shehi lebada shtayim. So he says you can't do each one blessing on each one. One blessing ve'al shel rosh k'shehi lebada shtayim. You can't do on the head when it's by itself too. Even if he has both of them, and he has some kind of something preventing him. You can put both of them, like for instance, for instance, let's say he has to go on the road. So he's not able to hold up his trip. He's got to get moving. So you can put one of them because one doesn't prevent the other. So in other words, if there's no choice in any case, a person can always has the option to put one tefillin and the other one, whatever, right? Whenever it comes, it comes. If it ever will, right? Whatever it is. Why? Because each one is a mitzvah by itself. So one doesn't prevent the other. Okay, that's the whole tour basically, right? It's one short chapter. So we'll see what you said. Right, so it says Bet Yosef like this. Mishnah b'perek Tchelet. It's over there. Mishnah in same Gemara there. Lamed Chet Amud Aleph V'nachot. Tefillah shel yad ena me'akevet shel rosh. It says there that tefillin of the hand doesn't hold back the head. The shel rosh ena me'akevet shel yad, and the head doesn't hold back the arm. Right, so they're both but independent mitzvot. That's what he's saying basically. That's the Gemara there. Actually, it's a Mishnah there, right? Whatever. Okay, so that's that. Okay, very simple. So let's see I think there's one more piece here in the Bet Yosef. The Aleph Bet, this one. You have to do this one. So it says, even if he has both of them, for some reason he can't put both of them. Can't put both of them. For instance, let's say he has to go on the road, as we said in the tour, right? This is from the tour. So he says, Sham is also there, in the Gemara, Mem Dal Amud Aleph, Amatnitin the Tefillah Shel Yad Enam Yakir Shel Rosh. Regarding the Mishnah, which says that one doesn't hold back the other, Amar Rav Chazda. So says Rav Chazda, Lo Shanu Ela Sheyesh Lo, we're talking about when he has. But if he doesn't have, then it does prevent him. Amulo, so they told him, the rabbis told him, Amat Amalhu lo ela man delet le tre mitzvot chad mitzvah nami lo liavad. So in other words, they asked him, did you really say this? He told them, no. He says, not really. Rather, he says, man delet le tre mitzvot man delet le tre mitzvot chad mitzvah nami lo liavad. That's what he's saying, right? According to this opinion, if you don't have both of them, you're not even doing one mitzvah. So this is not the way we paskin, but there's an opinion like this in the Talmud. It says in the beginning, what was he holding? Maybe there was a decree by the sages. They may come to sin like that. So Rashi explains, what does that mean? Since he's in the beginning, he said, this rabbi, then one holds back the other. My Sarba, what was he thinking? Maybe he's gonna sin. If we say that it doesn't hold you back, ifsha, he may come to sin, but he won't buy the other one. That's what we're concerned about, right? If we let him just to put one, he won't buy the other one. He'll be lazy, and just like go with one. Okay, that's the Gemara. The davar pashutu, so it says pashut. The naktinan kisvara batra. We go like the last opinion. The Rav Chazda of last Rav Chazda, the ben yesh lo shten, ben en lo shten. What does that mean? Whether you have two or not, en lo yesh lo shten, ben en lo ela echad, or you have one. Either way, enan me'akvot zot, it doesn't hold back one the other. V'af pi shebeperush haMishnah leRambam, even though on the perush of the Mishnah on the Rambam, katuv kelishna kama. It says like the first language of Rav Chazda, which is not the halacha. Only when both of them are in his hands, then they don't hold back each other. But if only there's one in his hand, they do hold back. So he says, Talmid to'e katabken. So he says, this was a mistaken Talmid that put this into the Rambam, right? Somebody slipped it in there. The ta'ua sofrim. So he says, then people aired after it, right? They copied it over. They put it inside, even though this was like outside, because he says really the truth is that in the Arabic versions of this, right, it's not there. So what does that mean? As we said, right, recently, that the Rambam wrote this work in Arabic. So in the Arabic versions, it's not there. So what that means that it got there when it was translated somehow and somebody slipped it in. That's what he's saying. That's why in the Arabic ones doesn't show up. That's what it seems also regarding what he wrote in his work, his work Mishnah Torah. Stam Tefillah Shel Rosh. He says over there like this, that Stam regular tefillin of the head doesn't hold back the arm. Also the other way around. He didn't make a differentiation whether he has it or not. We don't differentiate like that today. That's not the halakha. So it says it seems like all the poskim agree with this. And also it was written Rosh, explicitly in the Rosh, so he says this is the language. Whether he has it or not, they don't hold it back. So therefore he can put one without the other. Okay. Like for instance, he has something preventing him from putting it on. Like for instance, he's going on the road. He's not able to hold back. He's not able to wait. And put the arm. Then put the head. And that was, we're not concerned about regarding what they said. All the while that they're between your eyes, then you can have two. So what does that mean? You have to have the head in order to have two. I'd kind of know. It seems like Shikatav Kegon, he wrote like for example, like for instance, there's some kind of something preventing you. Because if he has both of them, then you cannot put the head first. Like it's the wrong order. You cannot put the head first. Before the arm. We already discussed that before. All the more so to nullify one of them, unless it's because of something preventing you. So it says in any case, it seems like if you only put one of them, even though both of them are in his hands, he didn't have anything preventing him. He fulfilled the obligation of that mitzvah. That he did, and it says in the smak, in the hagaot of the smak, which is like the gloss on it. Katab that's only when he doesn't have. He does write that. But if he has it, then they do hold it back. אפשר לומר שמעכבות לעניין שלא יצא ידי חובה, so it says, it could be that he's talking about he didn't fulfill obligation, אותה שהניח כאמר. That one that what you put he's talking about. He's talking about that. שאף על פי שביטל המצווה בלאונס, that even though he nullified the mitzvah without anything preventing factor, כל מקום, so he says, in any case, mitzvah de'avad, whatever the mitzvah that he did, he got credit for that. So it says, you have to say, the me'akvot dekama, that which he said that they hold back each other, that means that cannot battle any one of them. Okay. Interesting. So it says, we have to be precise about the language of Rabbeinu, the Torah. Even if he has both of them, the mashma the oter rawi lomar, that's implied that's more proper to say shelo yakru zed zed, they shouldn't hold back each other. Kishen lo, one doesn't have only one. Sheyesh lo shtehen, from when he doesn't have both of them. I'm sorry, he has both of them. But Gemara mashma ifcha. Gemara it implies the opposite. Because you may have thought to say that Rab Chasta, I'm sorry, yeah, that Rab Chasta the kishein lo me'akvot, that when he doesn't have, they hold back each other. Kishesh lo, when he does have, they don't hold back each other. So it seems that we should explain that whatever you may have thought to say, that Rab Chasta, that Rav Chasta the Gazrinan Shema Yipashar, that according to Rav Chasta that there's a decree that he may come to sin by not buying another one. Adif kasheyesh lo shten, it's better when he has both. The lekal migzar ba midi, then there's nothing to decree. There's no concern. Aval ledidan the lo Gazrinan, where it says to us that we don't make this the gzera, we don't write. In other words, we don't say don't put on one because you may come to sin and not put two. Not to buy the other one. Shema Yifsha, we don't say that. Because when he has only one. So it's Pashut, but he should wear that one, whichever one he has. The Kevan the three mitzvot, since there are two mitzvot, that two man, did you think that what? The man that let the two mitzvot, the one who holds it's not through mitzvot, אחד המצווה נמי לא ליעבד, well, he shouldn't do one mitzvah. אבל כשתיהן בידו, but if he has both of them in his hands, הווה אמינא דכמצוות אחד חשיבה. Then I would have thought that it's considered like one mitzvah. כיוון ששתיהן מצויות בידו, since he has both of them in his hands. בכל שהניח אחד בלא החברתה, so if you put one without the other, לא יצא, you may thought that it doesn't fulfill obligation, כמה to tell you that it does. Okay, well, okay, it's a long discussion here, but let's see Shulchan Aruch. I already pulled it up here. Okay, so I'm looking at Aleph. It says, Im en lo elat tefillah echad. The rule is like this, right? If he has only one tefillin, maniach ota, he places that one, sheyesh lo, which he has, u'barech alei, blesses on it. Shekol echad mitzvah b'fnei atzma. Why? Because each one is a mitzvah by itself, like as we said, right? That's the halacha. Not like the other opinion. Also, same thing applies. If he has both of them, he's not able to put it on for some reason. He can only put one. He can he should place the one that he can. As we mentioned, right? He's going on the road, whatever, he doesn't have time to put both of them. Okay, that's the first Shulchan Aruch. Okay, any questions on this? Is it clear?
I'm good.
Okay, good. So let's go to bed. There's one more. I already brought it up. So it says in bet, if he's only putting the head, that he's only blessing al mitzvah tefillin. So what does that mean? That's according to the Sephardi custom, right? That we bless one on the head. We bless one for both, really, right? That's what it is. But when you're putting only the head, the blessing would be only one. What would you bless? So he says, right? Al mitzvah tefillin. That will be the mitzvah. That will be the blessing. Not le'aniach tefillin. And then says the Rama, so he says, but according to us, that we do two blessings every day on the Tefillin, the Ashkenazim, mevarech al shel rosh levad, shte brachot. So he blesses on the rosh by itself two blessings, as we mentioned already before. If he's placing the arm only levad, mevarech le'aniach levad. So he's going to just bless the blessing of le'aniach. Okay, how does that sound?
Rabbi, so do you fulfill the obligation with one or not?
You're doing instead of doing two mitzvot, you're doing one mitzvah, right? That's basically what it is, right?
I see. And if you come to at some time later, you're able to put both. You bless and you do it. You put both of them, or just one you were lacking.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, I mean, if there are two mitzvot, there's no reason to put both. If you found the other one, then put the other one by itself. You know what I mean?
I see.
Unless you want to be, you want to do it that way because it makes you feel better, whatever. That's fine, whatever. But it seems like there's really no obligation to do that.
I see. But you can, right? Of
course you could. Yeah, of course you can wear tefillin all day if you want, whatever you want.
And it's okay to bless multiple times, take it off, bless again later on. It's no problem.
I'm sorry, what was that question again?
A blessing, every time you put it on, you bless. It's not a
we already discussed that, right? Last time we said every time you put it on, you got to bless.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay, very good. So that's the story. Okay, we're finished with that chapter. It went pretty fast. Okay, let's go to the next chapter. if all of them were that fast, it would be done in a couple of days. But not all of them are that fast. As they say, not so fast.
Not too fast, yeah.
Not so fast. Okay, Chaf Zayin. What is Chaf Zayin? So we're gonna go to okay, so we got the Torah, we got the Beit Yosef. So says the Torah, I'm sorry, wait, we did this right. How do I make this messy? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So it says in the Torah like this: "Makom al-chatan shel yad b'zoa שמאל בגובה הבשר שמפרק שבפרק שבין הקנה לכתף ויטה אותה מעט לצד ימין." So he says, where is the place to put the tefillin of the hand? What's the proper place? So he says, you put it on the left arm, on the way it translates is like this, right? On the bicep, basically, right? On the muscle. And also it should tilt a little bit towards the inside, right? Meaning that you should tilt a little bit towards the right. Meaning to say that when he bends his arm, the mata below, you can get the bow. There should be they should be pointing to his heart. But let's see again. There should be nothing separating between them. Between them and his arm, right? The skin. So yeah, in other words, don't put the tefillin with some kind of a sleeve, on top of a sleeve. It has to be directly in your skin. So then he says, and if he's a lefty, right, he puts on his weaker arm, which is the right arm. Okay, I think that's probably already a different one. We'll do first of all this one, the one we've read before. Let's see where that goes.
Kavod Harav.
Yes.
And so in the bicep, is it mid bicep, beginning, like proximal to where you do the when you that area where you do flexion and extension, so it's closer to that area in the bicep, or it's a little bit halfway?
So we're gonna see in the halacha, the Shulchan Aruch says that it should be on the lower half of the bicep.
Thank you.
Even though the Torah didn't say that yet.
Okay.
There's a machloket about that. There's a dispute about that. Okay, we'll get that pretty soon, Bezat Hashem. So let's see Beit Yosef. There's also another opinion which says you can wear it on the whole bicep, but we don't pass like that. Right, so it says like this, Bet Yosef. Makom Hanachatan. So it's Besot Perek Hakom. It's in also there in the Gemara there. Lamed Lamed Bet. Tam Rabbanan Yadecha Zo is small. So it says when it says Yadecha, it means the left one. Umay Tela Midichtiv. It brings it from the pasuk, the verse in Ishayahu. Mem Chet Amud Gimel. Up Yadi Yasta Aretz V'Mina Tivcha Shamayim. So in this pasuk, the word Yadi is talking about the left arm, because from the context you can see. Rabbi Natan Yalif la Mikra Harina. Rabbi Natan learns it from a different pasuk, from a different verse. So either way, right? Either way you learn it, comes out to be that you have to put on your left arm. ומה שכתב בגובה בשר בפרק שבין הקנה לכתף, not what you said that's going to be on the bicep, as we said, right? גם זה שם, it's also there in the Gemara, עד ידך זו קיבורת, it's talking about the bicep. כתוב תספות תספות בראש, קיבורת לשון קיבוץ בשר. It's talking about your muscle there. כמו קיבורה דהינה ויש שהיו אומרים, and there are those who say the had aminan begemara, that what you say in the Gemara lamed zayin amud bet, the begova shel yad hu makom anachat tefillin, that the place of tefillin is on the top of the arm, whatever. Ayinu gova basar samuch liyad, talking about the bicep, as we said. The whole ben hayad ve'amapek, it's between your elbow and your right and your underarm, whatever, your armpit, whatever. It's called kuda. בספר התרומה כתוב שמניחים אותן במקום ההיא, some put it over there, ורבי אותם אומר, תאר כורכך, so it says, therefore you must say, הוא דגובה הבשר של זרוע, שהוא בין הכתף ומהפק, ונקרא קודה, that's where it is, bicep, שהוא משמע דכל דוכתד של מצוות תפילין, בזרוע, ואותו עצם שבין יד לקודה, אינו קרוי זרוע. So it says that bone, right, is not called zroa, it's not called your zroa. It's kane, it's called kane. Okay. So what is he talking about? He's talking about the forearm, right? So should be the forearm. Ela kane ve'od hevi kama rayot ve'eskimu kol poskim. So he brought several sources. All poskim agreed that the Barav, to his words, the Rambam, afapi shehu koreh le'atzem sheben yad dekuda zerua. The Rambam, he says, even though he calls that bone between the hand and the forearm, in other words, he calls it zerua. The forearm is called zerua. And the one that's close to the shoulder, marpek, calls it marpek. That's the upper arm, right? But it says when it comes to putting tefillin, he holds like Rabbeinu Tam. That's what he wrote. That the hand, he puts it on his hand, he puts it on his left arm. Ala kiboret, right on the as we said, right, the bicep. That's the muscle that sticks out, you know, when you bend it, right? Whatever. It says in the you have to put them on a higher place. The higher place has a shozora of the arm. That's over there in that place which is called Kubdu. So it's between your armpit, as we said, and your elbow, right? That's where it is. It says over there in Agot, here we go, right? Now we're pinpointing the place, right? So because it says Hagaot, not all the bicep is kosher, right? As we just mentioned. It's only the lower half. קראית בשימוש הרבה, like it says in שימוש הרבה, that's the midrash, right? The peleg zeroa, right? Only half of it. So only half the bicep is kosher, as we just mentioned. ואין, בדק הבית, ואין לסמוך על זה, להכשיר, להניח בו תפילין בכל חצי זרוע. So it says you can't really rely on this to allow to put tefillin on the whole half of the the arm. It's only on the bicep, right? Not the whole arm, the upper arm, but only on the bicep. Krashon Harama, like the Rambam says, like the language of the Rambam, Rabbeinu shehu krashon hagema, shehu rashon hagema, zog kiboret, and also Rabbeinu, which is like the language of the Gemara. That's called kiboret ad kan. Okay, you said krasina beGemara. So now we're saying the Gemara another thing. Sham lamed zayin bet over there. 37b. Al yadecha. When it says al yadecha, then pasuk zug gova shel yad. It's talking about the muscle there, right? We mentioned. Or eno ela al yad mamash. Well, maybe it's talking about on the hand. You know, like literally on the hand. Yeah, in other words, on top of the hand, right? Maybe that's what it means. You may have thought to say. Amat Torah. So therefore, Torah tells you hanach tefillin biyad vehanach tefillin berosh. Don't put the tefillin on the arm and also on the head. Male anan begova rosh. Just like on the head, you have to put on top of the head. Afkan begova shel biyad, to put on top of the arm, the muscle. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, says Rabbi Eliezer, Eno tzarich harehu Omer, you don't need that. Why? Because it says, V'haya lecha leot al yadecha, it says you should have it on your, as a sign for your arms, leot velo leacherim, lecha leot, it should be for you and not for others, leot, not for others a sign. Rashi is saying, what does that mean? Velo leacherim leot, it shouldn't be a sign for others, shelo yiru'u achutza, it doesn't mean it shouldn't show outside. It shouldn't be visible outside. But if it's going to be right on the arm, the palm, it'll be showing, pointing to everybody. Ravashi had a yativ kame. So since Ravashi was sitting in front of the Amemor, in front of Amemor, how about Syria Biadeh? So he had this Syria in his hands. We'll see what that means. So his tefillin was showing. Amalo Syria more. So he told him, the rabbi, don't you hold that it should be for you and not for others? What does that mean? Other people should be able to see your tefillin, right? Amale makom lecha liot itmar. So it says in the place
Rabbi, sorry, we're only talking about the hand at this, right?
Right, we didn't get to the head yet, yes.
That the tefillin should be facing the heart. It's inwards, meaning you cannot see it from the side and when looking at someone who's wearing the tefillin, right?
Right. So, okay, good. So he says, Rashi explains that. What does this mean? How about Syria Biade Makar? So what does that mean? He had some kind of a wound in his hand. Right? By the muscle. Chaluko Sham, and it says his clothing, his cloak, whatever, was torn there. In order that the wound shouldn't press into it. So the tefillin was visible by way of the torn part there. So what does that mean? So it says because by most people, it doesn't look, it's not visible to other people. Or it's talking about the muscle, the bicep. But if it does rip, it's kosher anyway. כתבו זה סמ"ג וסמ"ג. These rabbis also wrote this. Okay. So then he goes on to say, "Ve'ateh otam miyat te'atzal yamin." As we said, right, that he should tilt it a little bit towards the side of the right. Rabbi Chia bar Avin mechaven umanach le'ad libeh. Right, katav Rav. So it says the Gemara there that Rabbi Chia, the son of Rav Avin, would put it right towards his heart, as we said. Katav Rambam says the Rambam regarding that. כשעושה כך נמצא מקיים והיו הדברים האלה על לבבך. When he does it this way, he's fulfilling the pasuk which says that they should be on your heart. Right, these words. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's see the Shulchan Aruch on this. Okay, so it says the Shulchan Aruch, Makom hanachatan shel yad bizroa smol. So he says, where do you place the arm one? On the left arm, right? Bebasar atapuach shebetzem sheben hakuvdu v'ben hashechi. So that's going to be on your bicep, as we said, right? Ve'ateh tefillah miyat b'tzad aguf, and put the tefillin a little bit, right, tilted towards the body, as we mentioned. So that means that in a way that when he bends his arm below, they should be corresponding to his heart, tilting towards his heart, facing his heart. So then it's fulfilling the pasuk that these words should be on your heart, because they're tilting towards his heart. Okay, good. So then he says, צריך להניח בראש העצם הסמוך לכובדו. So it says the Rama, you got to put it right on the lower part of the bicep, as we mentioned. אבל לא בחצי העצם הסמוך שכי, but not the upper one, which is close to the armpits, right? That's what he's saying. שאין לו Yad rak zarua. I'm sorry, I didn't read it right. So it says gidem. If you have a person whose arm is amputated, so he only doesn't have a hand, just an arm. Yaniach b'lo bracha. You should put it without blessing. He doesn't have a hand. So he puts it without a blessing. Interesting. Why? Because it could be that he's patur. It could be that he's absolved from this altogether. So he doesn't have the the tools, to put the tefillin properly. Hashem should help us.
So she's more or less putting it closer to the shoulder area, right?
I'm sorry. What was that again?
So he's be putting it closer to the shoulder area, right? Rabbi, like the armpit, shoulder area.
Well, it seems to be saying that he doesn't have a hand, and he has a forearm. So you put it without a blessing, he says. Let's see how they explain this. The Mishnah Berurah. Let's see how it explains this. Make sure we're understanding it properly. Right, so look at what Mishnah Berurah is saying, right? He's saying that it's talking about here, as we said, right, that his left hand was removed, amputated, whatever. But also all the forearm as well. So all he has is the upper arm. You understand? So
Right.
What does that mean? All he has basically is up to the elbow. That's all he's got. He's missing the hand and also the forearm.
But he has the bicep to put on.
Right, but that's not really enough, he's not really doing the mitzvah the proper way. So therefore, he should put without a blessing.
Because he doesn't have no hand. There's no hand to.
Right.
to
There's no hand. There's no arm. There's no forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
All right. That's the story.
and you can't put it on the other arm.
Oh, no, you can't. If you're righty, you have to put on your left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One second. So it says the Mishnah Berurah like this. Interesting, right? It says that if some of the forearm is left over, so then he has to bless. You understand, Yitzchak? You got that?
Yep.
Says the Mishnah Berurah that if some of the forearm is left over, you should bless.
Interesting, but no hand. But didn't we say the forearm is not the crucial part? You have to finish off on the finger, have the fill in.
Yeah, it's a very good question what you're asking. You know, it really requires some research. This whole thing, you know, why the Ramah says this way and so forth, so on. You know, we'll just like let it rest now. But since it's not very common, you know,
Yeah,
I don't want to go too deep into this. It's also very depressing to think about it.
absolutely.
Depressed. It's getting depressed thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Hashem should help us. What can I tell you? Hashem should help us to keep our bodies complete. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's the story over there. Okay, maybe we can do another one here. We'll go to Bet. So we got to go back. It seems like this is not from the tour, this Bet. It's coming from the Bet Yosef only. Okay, let's see what it says. It says Grasina beGemara says where the Gemara says Lamed He Amud Bet Amud Shekashar Tefillin Tzarich Liot Tape Panim, that the knot of the tefillin has to be towards the inside. Yosef says Yosef the Beshel Yad Ma'ere. It's talking about the arm. It's one of the arm. That the knot should not be from the outside. The Sofazara to the end of the arm, forearm, rather it should be inside. Shehu Keneged Eleb, which is towards the heart. The Shah Mefarshim Pershu, so says the other commentaries explained, the Veshel Rosh Maire, talking about the head actually. It's going to be explained, this Siman is B'siyat Lishma. We're going to explain this Siman regarding that. Umari Abu Hab Katav, so this Rabbi wrote, that which you said in Gemara, Kesher Shel Tefillin, Tzarich Sheyeh Lemala, that the knot of the tefillin has to be above, not below. Also, it should be inside, not in the back, whatever. Outside. It says Rabbi Muhai, Tefillin Shel Yad, talking about the arm tefillin. ונראה ממה שכתב איתור, it seems from what the איתור wrote, בשמו, in his name, שגם לסברה זו הקשר יהיה לצד ימין. And even according to this opinion, the knot should be to the right side, והתפילה יהיה למעלה. The tefillin should be above it. ולא בא לומר, it's not coming, only coming to say, אלא שלא יעשה במעברתא. It shouldn't be done with the מעברתא, which is the lower part, the base of the tefillin. כל כך גדולה, right, so I'm sorry, you shouldn't make the base of the tefillin so big, שיתה הרבה למטה, that it should be tilting down towards downwards, כשיקשור התפילה, when it ties the tefillin, אלא שלא תהיה גדולה, אלא כדי שתיכנס בה הצועה. But it should only be big enough that the strap should go in there, ואז יהיה הקשר סמוך לתפילה, and then the knot will be close to the tefillin, ויהיה הקשר בתפילין, and then the knot in תפילין, בגובה will be on the גובה, on the height, אבל בעל המאור, it says the בעל המאור כתב, he writes, שצריך שיהיה הקשר מלמעלה, that the knot should be above, ולמטה, and also below, ממנה, and also below, מעט ועיגול, like round, as a roa going around, right, the arm, תהיה התפילה ששם לב האדם, because that's where the heart of the man is, הנה נראה מזה, so it seems from here it says, שצריך שיהיה הקשר למעלה מצד שמאל, that the knot should be above, on the left side, והתפילה למטה, and the tefillin should be below, לצד ימין, on the right side, or balai tur, so it says balai tur, katav, he writes, the minhaga talya b'tel, says this is a matter of custom. Some have a custom like this, some have a custom like that. Katav shenahagu sheheh kesher noteh me'at tzad yamin. The custom is that the knot should be leaning towards the right. That's the end of it. Rav Ma'arib ibn Habib, this rabbi Zal katav shnei minhagim, both these customs. ראיתי בעיניי בכל אחד מהם בנוי על יסוד שווה לשניהם. So it says I saw both these customs and they're both in other words legitimate, he's saying. They're both really they're resting, they're built on one concept. The olam is, what is that? That we always make the knot of the hand on the end of the strap, and then it's filling strap. Says, according to this, yesh minhagim, there's the customs, yesh shemachnisim, there are those that machnisim tefillah u'matchilin b'katzeh that they put in the tefillin and then they start on the other side, on the strap, and then he goes passes it into the base of the tefillin, the whole strap, until it comes to the knot, which is at the end of the other one. ואז תישאר התפילה למטה, and then the tefillin will be left below, והקשר למעלה, and the knot will be above. So he says, I want to say שהתפילה היא יותר מפנימית, it says the tefillin is more inside, וקרובה ללב, closer to the heart, than the knot itself. At Zeraiti says, I saw this when I was young. So then afterwards I saw a different custom. It's also built on this concept that we mentioned. They don't do like the first custom, להכניס ראשונה בתפילה, to put the first one into the tefillin, קצה הרצועה, the end of the strap, אחר, the other end of the strap. Yeah. שאין בו קשר, that doesn't have a knot there, רק עושים באופן שלעולם, they just do it in a way that יישאר הקשר יותר תחתון, that always the knot will be right below, בקרוב אל הלב, closer to the heart, מהתפילה from the tefillin itself. לעשות זה מדקדקים, so he says in order to do this, they're מדקדק, they're careful, right? שלא להכניס רצועה, they shouldn't put the strap תוך המעברתא inside the base, כשיתחילו להכניס ראשונה קצה הרצועה, when he starts to bring in, right, insert at first the end of the strap, the other end of the strap, שאין בו קשר, doesn't have any knot there, רק מכניסים כפל הרצועה. So what we do is we just bring in we insert, right, the double knot, the double strap, folded strap, which is going after something like that, at the making of the knot, inside the base. So it says, you see there, then what happens is that you have the knot remains, and in the yud also, which it has below, which below the tefillin, but it says inserting the straps, toch kefel inside the folded knot, tavo lemala, which comes above the tefillin. וזה נראה לעניין מנהג הזה, ראיתי נוהגים כותבי התפילין. So that seems to be the proper thing, and I saw that this is like similar to the minhag that we saw that being in practice today. Because between nohagim, kotvet tefillin, the ones who write tefillin, that's the way they do it. מדקדקים ושמעתי שהיו נוהגים כן במאמר הארי הגדול הרב יצחק דליון. Oh, another דליון. So we have, right, that they did this according to this rabbi Yitzchak Delion. וכן נוהגים עתה, so that's the way they're accustomed now. אין ספק שהיה מדקדק, that there's no doubt that he was careful. But this the camp דברי הגאון, in order to uphold the words of the Gaon, כמו שכתובים למעלה, they're explained above, that's the end of the language. ובסוף דבריו, in the end of his words, כתב עוד, כי זה מנהג השני הוא הנכון. So he says, second custom is the right one. Okay, so it's a long story over here. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch if he condenses this into something more readable. Okay. It's hard to picture all this, without a diagram, basically. You need like a diagram for this.
Yeah, very difficult to follow.
Of course. Okay, but the Shulchan Aruch is more simple here. Okay, let's see that.
Rabbi, by the way, I know we haven't discussed it yet. I don't know if there's going to be an halacha or not. I've heard that when you put the tefillin of the yad on the bicep, you should have two fingers left until the forearm, until the elbow. Is that?
I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, but let's just read the Shulchan Aruch for a second, and we'll come back to that. So it says, so it's the proper custom is like this: Shea yud shel kesher tefillah, that the yud of the knot of the tefillin shel yad of the arm, letzad halev, it should be towards the hearts. That's easy to understand, right? Not too hard. If you look at your tefillin, you'll see how that is, right? Your tefillin will tell you. V'atfilah alav letzad hachutz. So right, so the knot is towards the inside, and the tefillin is towards the outside. יש להיזהר שלא תזוז היוד, so you have to be careful that the yud shouldn't move, קשר מהתפילה, it shouldn't move from the knot of the tefillin. So you know what? Let me get my tefillin for a second, and I'll show you. Let's make it our diagram here, live diagram. So here we have, I don't know if you can see it, but right with the arm. So
Mhm.
this is the kesher that we're talking about, right? This knot here. So this goes towards the heart. So you put it like this, right? Like this. So it's going to be towards the heart. And the tefillin will be on the other side, right? The opposite. The box of the tefillin will be on the opposite side. So it's going to be like this, right? On your arm, like this, going towards your heart. That's what he means to say. Yeah, right, let's read this again to understand. It says like this, right? That it should be the knot here, right? The yud, the shei yud shel kesher tefillah, should be towards the heart, like this, right? Because it could be that the person would put it like above, you know, that would be like away from the heart. That would be just the opposite, right? That we don't want that. We want it to be towards the heart.
Right.
That tefillah alav letzad chutz, and the tefillin itself is going to be towards the outside. Like
How is
this.
that so, though, Rabbi?
I'm sorry.
They're both pointing towards the heart. How is it?
What I mean to say is, right, this is like directly on the heart, and this is like further away, opposite. You understand?
Yeah, but from the wording, it sounds like how is the actual tefillin is going to be there?
Yeah, it can be misleading if you don't see a diagram, if you don't really see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you actually see it. So here it is, right? That's the way it goes. And יש להיזהר שלא תזוז היוד של הקשר מהתפילה, right? So what does that mean? That this yud over here, this knot that we have, it looks like a yud, it should not move away from the box. It should be like stuck to it. So what does that mean? The sofer should tie it in a way that doesn't move. It has no slack to move around. You understand what I'm saying?
Does it actually touch yours, Rabbi? Or there is like
It
a
has to
sense
touch, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah. So you know what they do, right? What they do is that the cover of the tefillin, they make it like, you know, what carved out over here. So this way it touches the tefillin, not the cover, it touches the tefillin itself.
What if it doesn't? It's no kosher?
Yeah, that's not good. It's not good. I mean, I can't tell you it's pasul, but it's not the proper way.
Mine doesn't touch all the way.
So what does it do?
There's a small gap between the box and
Oh, I see. So maybe you should take it, you know, to a sofa and have it realigned, like re-knotted there. Show it to me next time I see you, you know, whatever, and we'll check that out, how that looks. That's very interesting. So yeah, so that's what I'm talking about now. Just give me a second. So this, by the way, this last piece of the Shulchan Aruch here, we didn't do yet the Bet Yosef on this. It seems like we'll probably do it tomorrow. But what I want to say is that there's probably some Mishnah Berurah here who you know, explains this further. I'm just going to take a look at it for a second. Oh, he brings the Zohar over here, all right? So there you go, right? You see that Mishnah Berurah also believed in the Zohar. He also brought it in. So yeah, those guys who don't believe in it, oh boy, they're gonna get it upstairs. You should know, by the way, those guys. You know, all these sages, they believe in it, and they don't believe in it. They're smarter than everybody else, right? Oh God, these people, man. They got a few screws loose. These people, need some brain surgery. Okay, so it sounds like this, right? If Zohar machmir meod, says Zohar in the Parashat Pinchas is very machmir about this. Binyan zeh, yesh machmirin degam kishen toch kisan tzrichim lizaher bazeh. So it says some say that you have to be careful also when it's in the bag, not only when you're wearing it, right? You have to be careful also all the time. Like Shalot tazuz klal hayud tam zeh yesh noagim likshor hayud im chut shel gid. So it says because of this, what they do is they tie it with some kind of a sinew, right, in order that it shouldn't move. Today they have a better way of doing it. They just they know how to just ram it in there. They know how to tighten it,
Yeah, I personally thought you just have to when you put it in the box, you gotta tie it up so the yud touches the tefillin.
Okay.
But not when
it's
it's
the main thing
untied.
is when you're wearing it, right? That's the main thing. תפילה, וראוי לבטל זה, right. 1 second, so it comes in, right. So it says the Mishnah Berurah that regarding that they put that outside, the string there to attach it. He says they should not do that. It's not proper. There are some, by the way, some people have the custom to do it this way. So my rabbis always told them, to cut it out because it's not proper to do it this way.
Not do what again? Sorry, Rabbi.
They put like an extra, like a sinew there, like a string, to tighten it. Like outside, something outside string, outside, right? Thing to tighten it. So it says the problem is that there's a chatzitza now. There's going to be interruption between the arm and the tefillin because of that knot, because of that extra thing you're putting there.
The skin, no? Between interference between the skin and the tefillin, perhaps.
Right, exactly, yeah. Right. Yeah, that's the problem. So therefore, they shouldn't do that. Okay, I don't see many people doing this today, by the way. Anyway, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so we'll pick it up tomorrow. We'll continue a little bit more tomorrow. We have to probably go back on this because we have to there's probably more material to read the Beit Yosef on this. Okay, Chazak Baruch. Thanks for coming, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you.
Rabbi.
Have a good night.
You too.
Chazak Baruch. Be blessed. Be
Amen.
wealthy and happy.
Amen. Thank you.
Okay, Rabbi. Good night.
Later tov.